Now we're going to add some ductwork. So I'd like to, well, just for a minute, I've got the view range highlighted here. That's over on this part of the properties palette. And you can adjust this cutting plane. And I'm doing that sometimes just to get visualizations. It's usually 4 foot above the ground. If I hit apply, you'll notice I've got some walls coming up here. I'm going to make sure this is at 4 feet. I may have not been very careful in the first video about describing that. So let's take a look now at just putting a little perimeter piece of 12-inch ductwork around. So we're going to go to Systems, Duct, and I have it, there's round, rectangular, and oval, and I've got it set for default. And our diameter that I've set is 12 inches. And the top elevation, I want it to be quite high, so let's see if we can, it's not allowing me to make an adjustment here. Whoops, I think I'm in the drawing mode. Let's try that one more time. And let's set this elevation for 11'6". I'm not exactly sure if that's, well, the roof is 13, so it's probably 12'6". 14, excuse me. So let's try 13'6" for the top elevation. That gives it just a little clearance before it hits the ceiling. We can go back and adjust that. Now, the other thing we want to make sure is that we have set up at least some routing connections. So I've got a round elbow in here. That's the only thing I'm going to use. So I'm just going to make sure I've selected that. You'd have to load that in. The pleated one is kind of an attractive looking one because it'll be visible. You go to Load Family. Let me drag this on. Go to, I'll back up, but here's where the pleated one is in the elbows, and I'll show you where that's found. It's in the round, and that's all inside of fittings. That's all inside of duct. That's all inside of the imperial. So I'll click back forward with it. So we go into duct, fittings, round, elbows, oops, and then the pleated one, which is the one I imported, and I'll just cancel because I've already got that in. And then I selected that in the drop down. And like I said, for this project we don't need any other ones, at least the way I'm doing it. So I'll go OK, and we'll start drawing. So I'm just going to start over here at this wall, and the idea is that this bathroom has a lot of room up above that could have what's called an air handler in it. We've discussed that. The heating and cooling, the inside component that moves the air around. And I'm just going to go ahead, and it's giving me a warning that they're not visible. And I'm not going to concern myself with that because I know they're being drawn. But I will go back to this level 1 now and adjust the view range. So this is back up at 8 feet. Oh, well, let's put it up at 10 feet so that we see if we can capture that ductwork. Nope. Excuse me. Got to go higher than that. 13 feet. There we go. Now we've captured the ductwork. And I probably should have had that set before. I'm just going to come in here and clean this up a little bit. Oops. There it goes. I'm just making it touch the wall. Well, I'll let it go to the center. That's what it wants to snap to. Doesn't matter. So the idea that this could either, this one actually could be just a dead end termination. It doesn't even go to the wall. And the idea that there's a supply over here pushes the air around the room, and we can have all kinds of all vents along here. And they work, and they're quite effective there because that's where we have a lot of convection of the cooling exterior wall surfaces. So this is a good way to supply heating and cooling air to the space. Okay, so that takes care of that. I have I set up an interior view of this, and I'm not seeing the ductwork in this, and I'm not sure why. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Well, it's there, and it's not a hidden item. It's just not showing up because of the lighting on it. So I guess you can kind of see it. It's, well, I'm highlighting it right now. No, it's not that. It's this one up here. Let's see if I tab. There, I can grab it. So you can see it's that dark gray. That'll show up later on in different renderings. And we can look at the section just to see where it is with respect to, and this is actually, we've got a bit of an interference here. As you can see, I'm going to turn the level of detail up. And we'll probably want to make a little adjustment. We don't have to. These two can actually lie in the same plane. Maybe I'll let that happen, but you could see what you could do is you could raise this whole system up almost to 14 feet. So I can go 11 inches. And that'll pull that up just above that line. There's really not an interference there, and I could drop the other one down a little bit. So that's fine with our visualization of the ductwork for this part of the project. So I'll end this clip now, and the next thing we'll do is we'll look at treating some kind of an acoustical panel to go on the wall systems.